I'm truly gonna miss you, Big Val. I'm glad you're gone though, because Toronto didn't deserve you. We didn't deserve you. We hated on you. We blamed you for things that you weren't blamed for. I'm glad you're gone. DeLon Wright, CJ Miles, Greg Monroe, good luck in your future. Um, I'm a GM. Neither of you will make my fantasy squad, but you know what? Goodbye, regardless. Uh, Moment of silence, please, for Big Valentinus. Welcome to the show. This is Coach WONDERGEDDON. And if you haven't heard from the intro, and if you haven't heard all week, then you are under a rock. We have recently got Marc Gasol in a trade. We got rid of Valentinus. Valentinus, good luck to you, as I so passionately said earlier. Good news though is that we do have Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is a little bit older than we had than what we had in Val. My opinion, Val's just about to really blossom now that he's off of this team, and he's probably going to be more of a focus on his new team. But Marc Gasol, we do have him. We have a lot of vet experience going into the playoffs, which is going to be amazing. He's a better passer. He's a better floor spacer. He's a former defensive player of the year, which is amazing. We're going to put him beside Kawhi Leonard. We're going to put him beside Siakam. We're going to put him beside Ibaka. That is a nightmare front court no matter which way you move everybody around. That defense is going to be able to slow any team down in the NBA. It's going to be hard. It's still going to be hard for them to beat the Golden States and to beat even the Philadelphia 76ers. But we have a nightmare front court. It's going to be a lot of people trying to take threes over us because they don't want anything to do with that front court. In fantasy ball, what that means is a log jam. Siakam's probably going to lose a lot of minutes in a fantasy league world. Unfortunately, he's a really good player, but he's probably going to get less minutes in the long run. Because I know, but in the short term, he might still work out for a little bit longer because they're going to want to work Marc Gasol in slowly, kind of get him in there so that he kind of reaches his prime by playoff time. So Siakam's probably going to drop off minute wise. Gasol and Ibaka are probably should play well together, especially if you have Kawhi Leonard in there. Then that's going to be a pretty solid front court. Marc Gasol, my expectation for him is a double double every game. Every game I expect him to have a double double. The good thing about that expectation is that it's not always going to be rebounds. He is going to get double digit assists for this team often. So if you don't have him on your team and you see him available, please get him. Please get him, and you could thank me later. Now I'm going to tell you who the most improved player or the most improved team of the playoffs are. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to guess, and then I'm going to tell you who it is. The correct answer is the Philadelphia 76ers. They just got dangerous. These guys went out this season and they grabbed Tobias Harris, and they also have Jimmy Butler to already add to the team of Embiid, JJ Redick, and Ben Simmons. That's crazy. I'm gonna look at each one of the teams. Or each one of those players on this team. I'm gonna give you the lowdown on what I think is gonna happen. We're gonna start with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, pop your head up there. Ben Simmons' numbers, I'll be honest with you, are probably gonna fall. In the real world, it's not going to be a big deal. In fantasy world, it might drop off by a couple. If you have him, don't panic. Don't drop him. His numbers might go down, maybe by a rebound or by an assist. They're going to be passing the ball around a little bit more. He's probably not going to benefit from all the extra assists that he usually gets. He's probably not going to have to rebound too much either. Uh, he already has from what we've seen, and not really up to par shot. So he's probably going to try to pass the ball a lot more. A fact in fantasy sports, or fantasy basketball, I should say, is that non-shooters, they start to lose production everywhere. If you're passing the ball all the time and your team is a ball movement team, you're probably not going to get the ball back because you're not going to shoot too often. You might lose a couple points here and there, which I think is going to happen with the rebounds and the assists. I don't think he's going to be down in the blocks as often as he was earlier this season. Now for their number 2, J.J. Redick. This is the guy who I think is going to benefit the most from these trades and for this team that Philadelphia has much. His three-point shooting is going to go up because that's going to be his expectation. He's going to be the beneficiary of looser defense because they're going to be down there with Tobias Harris and Embiid. They're going to be worrying about Ben Simmons passing. J.J. Redick is only going to have to shoot. The good news, bad news that is that he's probably going to be the highest scorer on the team for the rest of the season, but J.J. Redick will never pass the ball again. For the rest of the season, J.J. Redick is not going to pass the ball. If he's open, he is going to take that shot 100% of the time, and he's going to hit that shot so often that no one's going to complain that he's not passing the ball because he's a shooter and that's what he's supposed to do, and he's going to get a lot of open shots for the rest of the season. The number 3 is going to be Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler pop up. As you guys know, he is a tenacious player. His steals are going to go up. His blocks are going to go up. He's going to be able to play more of a defensive game with so many offensive weapons. He's going to take less shots, but if you know who Jimmy Butler is, you know that he is super efficient when it comes to his shots and the amount of points he scores. He is going to shoot less, most likely, but his scoring is going to stay in the 20s. His blocks are going to improve. His steals are going to improve. His rebounding, maybe not. His assists, he's going to benefit from having some strong forwards down there to give him a couple more assists than he probably deserves. So I expect that to go up as well. He is a bucket getter. He's going to be fine with the amount of shots that he's going to get. Number 4, the power forward, is Tobias Harris. His numbers might drop as he starts to get used to being in a new team, but he's going to be just as efficient as he usually is. He is going to get a lot of extra points and a lot of extra numbers in those stats, in the steals, in the blocks. He's going to get a couple rebounds, but I think the main rebounder is going to continue to be the main rebounder, and that's going to be Joel Embiid, who is the center. His rebounds are going to go up. His points are going to go up. His defense is going to improve. That is going to be a tight unit. Their bench got better as well. I'm not really going to talk about their bench too much, to be honest with you. In a fantasy league, I probably wouldn't grab anybody off their bench. I don't feel like Jonathan Simmons is a six man to worry about, or there's their new center, their 7-3 guy. I don't even remember who he is, but I'm not too worried about him coming off the bench. The focus of this team is going to be the starting lineup. That is going to be the bread and butter of the Philadelphia team. Their bench is good, but when you're looking at a team where 5 of them are capable of scoring 20 points in a game, you have to look at their starting lineup more than their bench. Solid bench, but that they're not even going to get to play. Even if they do play a little bit, the focus is still going to be on the starters. Other fantasy league things to pay attention to at the trade deadline is the following. If you do not know, the Pelicans made a trade with the Bucks. The Bucks got Nikolai Mirotic. That is huge. He's going to get a lot of shots. He's probably going to get the same amount of shots that he was getting with the Pelicans, which is a good thing. He is a hot shooter. If he's out there in your free agency, pick him up ASAP. He scores in bunches. A lot of threes. He's a big man. He does not get contested a lot because he is 6'10" or 6'11", and he's very hard to block. So he gets the green light to shoot whenever he can. He shoots at a high clip. As I said, he's a very hot shooter. He will hit a lot of threes for you in bunches. On a team like Milwaukee, who already has a green light to shoot whenever they feel like it, they now have 4 scorers around Giannis who are able to shoot at a high percentage. That's very interesting. If you are the Toronto Raptors, you're going to want to look at a way to defend that. I think they're going to be able to do it with Gasol. It's going to be a little bit harder than I thought it was before the trade deadline. I'm not going to lie. I thought Toronto was going to run away with this season. Now it looks like they're going to have to work a little bit harder, but I still think they're going to be able to make the finals with the squad that they have now. The Clippers in the other side of the world, in the Western Conference, the LA Clippers lost Tobias Harris. Yes, Avery Bradley they got rid of as well, but they did pick up Ivica Zubac. They got Garrett Temple, and they got JaMychal Green from the Memphis Grizzlies, which is a good young core to start playing with and getting them into the fold. Doc Rivers is obviously an amazing coach. He does this over and over again. Every season, I look at his squad and I say that he has no playoff chance. And you look at him even at this season, even trading that many players, trading Tobias Harris, who was your high scorer, they still have a really good team. They have a team that's good enough to make the 8th seed, and they have enough players on that team. The team is deep enough to be obliterated by the Golden State Warriors in the first round. Because if they come in, they're going to be at 8, and Golden State is going to destroy these guys. So the question is, who wins the draft? Who wins the draft? Did Toronto win the draft with Gasol? Is Mirotic going to be the extra guy? Let's think about things that other teams that might have won the draft. For example, the Pelicans. They got a lot of new players, but beyond all that, you're looking at Anthony Davis didn't go anywhere, and they're gonna have to play with him. They can still make the playoffs. They still have a really good chance of making the playoffs. And you have to remember as well, another winner of the draft could also be the LA Lakers. They didn't lose too much either. To me, the big winner player wise, and if you have him on the team, you're probably smiling a little bit. If you don't have to trade for these guys, you already have them on your team. If you have Anthony Davis, then you should feel good because he's going to take the rest of the season to showcase because he wants that league backs. Even if they don't make the playoffs, his numbers are going to be ridiculous for the rest of the season. That we know because they can't bench him because the Pelicans are going to get fined every time they bench him because they're making a mockery of the whole he's leaving soon, so let's just screw around. We don't want to do that. LeBron's going to win because LeBron is back, and because LeBron is back, the Lakers that are going to win the most, in my opinion, is Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. One of the people that is also going to win or that won the playoffs in the fantasy league is the person who has Julius Randle. Julius Randle was putting up numbers all season. Mirotic is now gone. He is now going to be the guy beside Anthony Davis. He is also going to be the heir apparent to Davis, which means they're going to showcase him and make sure that everyone knows that this guy is going to be the man next year. If you have him on your team, smile because you're about to have another top 100 player in your league. I have him in both leagues. Look at this face. Look at this face. That's NBA for you guys. We're going to talk about UFC in a couple seconds after this commercial, if we have one. If we don't, then I'm going to make one up. This weekend was UFC 234. As I like to call it, Mortal Kombat 234. It was amazing. I'll be honest with you guys, this episode was supposed to be done a few hours ago, but because I stopped to watch this, it was worth the wait. Sorry guys, it should have been here earlier. It, as you can see, Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva was the main event. It was amazing. It was Rock Lee versus Gara. It was fun to watch. It was almost like the passing of the torch. Israel Adesanya beat Anderson Silva by decision. It was amazing. Just like this picture, it did not disappoint. Lando Venata tapped out Marcos Mariano. Ricky Simon beat Rana Yaha by decision. That actually surprised me. I thought Yaha was gonna win, but Ricky Simon beat him pretty square. In a women's match, Montana De La Rosa beat Nadia Kazim. Nadia Kazim was undefeated before this fight. Both of these girls are both young, 23 years old. Saw a lot of potential in that fight. Those two were fun to watch as well. Jim Crute knocked out Sam Alvey, even though Alvey did dispute it, and he kind of had a legitimate gripe. So what happened was Jim Crute knocks this guy stupid, but he felt that he didn't have to hit him anymore, and he stopped. And then Alvey got up, and then he turned around to go beat him up some more, which he did proceed to do. But Alvey looked like he got back a little bit of his senses and thought that the fight was stopped early. I'll be honest with you though, Jim Crute hits hard. He hits hard, and he knocked him out. Like, I am pretty sure at the end of the day, that is the right answer. Jim Crute did knock out Sam Alvey. Notice that I did not say anything about the main event. The main event was supposed to be Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum, but that got canceled in the last minute. Whittaker had emergency abdominal surgery. His life was actually in danger. He could have died from this one if he didn't get the emergency surgery. So unfortunately, Kelvin Gastelum didn't get to fight. He wanted to really bad. He thinks that he's the champion now because he took all the steps that he could to get to this fight, and he might have a legitimate gripe. Robert Whittaker was injured, but you know what? At the end of the day, they did the weigh-in. He did what he was supposed to do, and I look at it as a forfeit, and so did Kelvin Gastelum. So I think that's a legitimate gripe. I think, though, that Adesanya should have the next crack at that belt against Kelvin Gastelum. I think they should give Kelvin Gastelum the belt, and I think that his first defense should be Adesanya. And I think that would be an amazing fight. As I said, if it's anything close to what we experienced in that fight last night, then I think that Adesanya does deserve the next shot at a championship. That's UFC 234, Mortal Kombat 234. We're going to talk about the All-Star Game and All-Star Weekend in Charlotte. February 16th, guys, All-Star Weekend. NBA All-Star Weekend is in Charlotte. Of course, as we do every All-Star Weekend, we're going to have the dunk-off. We're going to have a three-point competition. and we are going to have a skills competition. And of course, we're going to have the All-Star game, which is year 68. 68th year All-Star game. I don't believe this. Remember, it used to only be one day, and then they got the dunk off and the three-point competition. Well, now it's all weekend because the first thing that usually pops up is the skills challenge. That's like the new thing. I remember when it used to not be a thing at all. Look at the list of people who are going to be in the all or going to be in this competition. My pick for everybody here, you can see Conley's here. He's still with the Grizz. Luka Doncic, who everyone thinks is an all-star, and he probably is. Kuzma, Jokum. Well, there's a couple other guys. Trae Young's in there. But my pick for the winner of this skills challenge is De'Aaron Fox. He's the fastest guy in the NBA. He plays for the Kings, and he is probably the fastest point guard I've seen in a while. Some of the other guys that you think are fast, but he's young and he's probably faster than they are right now. That's just what it is. 3-point competition is also going to be done there. Done in Charlotte. You got Devin Booker in there. You got both of the Currys. You got Seth Curry, Stephen Curry. You got Danny Green, Joe Harris, Damian Lillard, Dirk Nowitzki, Kemba Walker, and Chris Middleton. The guy that I picked, though, is the guy that I didn't name. Buddy Hield is going to win the 3-point competition. You heard it from me here first. He's going to win. Dunk off. There's only four participants in the dunk off this year. I don't know why that sounds so small. That just seems weird. It seems like there should be so many more people in the dunk off, but there's only 4. Miles Bridges from the Hornets. John Collins gonna be in it. Diallo from the Thunder, and Dennis Smith Jr. gonna be from the Knicks. To be honest with you, for most the casual NBA player, Dennis Smith Jr. is probably gonna be the most popular bet because his name is probably more out there than the rest of the names. I don't think he's gonna win though. I think John Collins is gonna win. Don't ask me why. I just have a hunch that John Collins is going to win. Miles Bridges might win too. They're in Charlotte, and he does play for the Hornets. I changed my answer. Miles Bridges is going to win the dunk-off for the Hornets. Then, of course, is going to be the NBA All-Star Game. 68th anniversary. Who do you have? Do you have Team Giannis or do you have Team LeBron? Let me know. Who do you have? So far, looking at the teams, and I think the Team LeBron's going to destroy Team Giannis. That's what I think is going to happen. Guys, look at this. Look at the screen. Team LeBron has Kyrie, Harden, Durant, and Kawhi Leonard on their starting lineup. So if they're going to play any type of serious ball in the beginning, which I think they're going to do, lineup-wise, Team Giannis does have a lot of good pieces. Don't get me wrong. It's an all-star game. You can't really go wrong. But the drop-off in talent, I think, is in the reserves. The reserves that LeBron picked up, he picked up Anthony Davis. He has Klay Thompson. He has Westbrook. He has Bradley Beal. And I would take those guys over everybody that Team Giannis has. Team Giannis has Kyle Lowry, Nikola Jokic, Ben Simmons, Blake Griffin. They're good players, great players. But if you're going to take this game anything serious, if these guys are going to play serious this year, I think LeBron's team is going to destroy Giannis's team. But it is an all-star game, and that's why we play it, to see what happens. But if I was a betting man, then I would think that LeBron's team is going to win. All right? They just look like they have the ability to continue scoring, and that's what happens in all-star games. I think they're going to put up 190 points. Honestly, they're going to be some scoring records. I think every time they go down the court, both teams are going to put up over 150 points. They do it in the regular season. Now, I don't see why 5 All-Stars aren't going to do it that way. All right, so that's it. What did we learn today, guys? What did we learn this week? We learned that Marc Gasol is going to be a short-term improvement. I do think that Valanciunas is about to hit his prime, and I think that that the Memphis Grizzlies are going to benefit from him. I want Marc Gasol on the court a lot, which I think means that I want him to start. I don't know what's going to happen with Siakam and Serge Ibaka. I don't really know how it's going to work, but I do know that I want Gasol to start. I want him to get at least 30 minutes, and I think he's going to stuff a fantasy league stat sheet if he gets 30 minutes a game. Okay, what else did we learn today? We learned that the most improved team, in my opinion, is the Philadelphia 76ers. I think J.J. Redick is going to be the main scorer on that team. I also think that he will not pass for the rest of the season, and he's not going to rebound. So be wary. He is going to be a high scorer, but he's not going to do much else on your team. So think about if you want him on your team, if you're thinking about trading him, trade high. You'll probably get a lot for him. What else did we learn? We learned that there was a passing of the torch in the NFL. We know that Israel Adesanya just defeated great Anderson Silva, the GOAT, if you will. Watch that fight if you can. Watch that fight if you can. If you can't watch that fight, then go on YouTube and put down Rock Lee versus Gara and watch that fight. It's about the same thing. They were just as good. So Google that. And we also learned that the All-Star game is next weekend and that Team LeBron is going to win. You know what? We didn't even mention the U.S. versus World game, what used to be the rookies versus the sophomores. I have the Team World winning. It's probably going to be a close competitive game, but I have Team World winning. All right? That's it, guys. This is another episode. I'm finished. It is Coach WONDERGEDDON. I am that man. Thanks for listening. And subscribe to the channel. Enjoy yourselves watching this show. You guys have a great one. Thanks for watching yet another episode. You guys are the best. Have a good night. Roll my credits.